Have you ever wanted to fry a turkey? I know I have. So not that long ago, I opened up Amazon and I typed in turkey fry and I was just looking through and I saw one that caught my attention. It was by Charbroil and it's called The Big Easy. And this is what caught my attention. It was an oilless turkey fryer. How do you fry a turkey without oil? What? Anyway, it uses infrared technology and that's what we're going to look at today. This is Jeff with Jeff Reviews for You. My channel is dedicated to reviewing mostly as seen on TV items. I look at some consumer gadgets, other household items. Once in a while, I do a little bit of a DIY just because I like to. If that interests you, I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel and click the bell below. That way, you're notified every time I release a video just like this one. Oh yeah, one more thing. Don't forget to check down in the description for my social media, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. I would love it if you would follow me there too. Now, let's see if this Big Easy, the oilless turkey fryer, is any good. It's time to set up our Charbroil Big Easy. It's our oilless turkey fryer. And to be honest with you, don't you just wish that once in a while a company would send you something completely assembled? Because this is annoying. I have all these bottom pieces. I have some handles. I actually have to assemble the gas line. I do have to do a prep before, and that's okay. Like, I have to season it. That's why I have the oil, and of course I have screws up in the corner. So now what we are going to do is we are actually going to assemble this and then season it and then start our cook. First things first, we have to install this mechanism down here, and there is a little way to do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to zoom in. I do have my oilless turkey fryer upside down. Let me just turn the camera a little. You might not be able to see, but there's some tabs right here. Those actually go in second. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this piece right here and line it up down right here. Make sure it slides in. And line up these. And push it tight. So you saw that I lined up here first, put it in the tabs. Now it's lined up for a screw hole. And I'm going to install a screw just a second right here. All right, so right down in here is our screw hole. What I'm going to do is they told me to use one of these flathead screws, the taller of the two. So I have my screw gun, my drill here, turned on the lowest setting just so it doesn't put too much pressure. And there we go, that part is installed. Now we are going to install the base. So I grab two of these pieces that are opposite. And what happens is there's these tabs on this side where this will just feed in. And hook it just like that. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it down and I'm going to line it up to corresponding screw holes down here. Pay attention to this little square here because that's important to be right about here. Now I'm going to bring it back to the other side and screw them in. Before we screw this piece down, we actually have to put in this cross beam. Now there is an up and a down, so make sure this is closer to the bottom there. So I'm going to slide this in just like this. And I'm going to take the larger of the set of screws and now screw this right in. Do the same thing to the other side, and then we'll put some of the smaller screws in the holes that are here. Now that this cross beam is installed, I'm going to screw in these holes here to secure this to the base. Now remember, I'm using the smaller of the two screws. This is the longer one, this is the smaller one, to screw in this part right here. Now that we've secured this side, we're going to do the same thing to the other side. I just set that piece into place. So we're going to put our cross beam across and then put our screws through. I will say you might want to get a long screw bit because I ended up having to go through this hole on top to screw these in. Just a little pro tip because you're not able to really get a screwdriver into the side. All right, the last step before we put the handles on. Remember that hole I told you about to line up? We're going to stick the wire through, pull it through this side, bring it all the way over here, and let me get a focus, and we're going to hook it right on the top here. All right, let's see if I can grab it. Just have to rock it in there and push it down tight. Make sure you get it down tight. I'm actually going to adjust it off camera, but that's where it goes. All right, so I was able to just push this down. I didn't actually move a whole lot after I turned the camera off, but I was able to get on over it here and push it down. So that's now all hooked up. The final part to install is the handles, and you have one for each side. You just line them up with the screw holes there and screw them in. I have my basin out, but look, you can see around there's like a ring where your fire will be. I will say I have put my drip tray in. They absolutely say you have to have an insert if you're cooking a turkey to catch the grease. You should not just use the metal piece. You have to have one of these inserts to use for the gravy. All right, so now I'm going to do is I'm going to install these pieces, and then we're going to season the pan. Before I season the inside of this pan, I want to make sure I have fire, so I've installed this to my propane tank, hand tightened. I've turned this on. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, click it over to the gas, push in, and you might be able to hear the gas, and then turn this. You might not have been able to hear that, but I know that my flame just lit up right now. So I am ready to go. So I'm going to turn this off, season the inside, and let it smoke off. I've waited about 3 or 4 minutes before just testing it, and you know it was only on for a few seconds, but this is still warm, so be careful because this will get hot. So what I'm going to do is I've got some paper towels, I've got some vegetable oil, and I'm just going to put the vegetable oil on the paper towels, and I'm going to rub the entire surface of this inner pan. I'm talking the bottom, the sides, everywhere, and then I'm going to light it up or heat the thing up and let it burn off all the smoke. This is how you're seasoning your pan. All right, now that I have a nice even coat over the entire thing, I'm going to heat it up and let it burn off for a period of time. So it's starting to smoke up just a little bit. It's only been on for a minute, but you're supposed to let it smoke off, and when it stops smoking is when it's done. If you can see it coming up, you can start to see that smoke coming up. So, tell me, what do you think of Charbroil's The Big Easy, the oilless turkey fryer? Have you ever used one of these before? Let me know down in the comment section below. I would love to hear from you. I will put out one little warning. When this thing is on and the flame is on, everything on here is very, very hot, except for those handles, so make sure you don't touch any of it. So now, let's get to cooking. So this has been about 30 minutes cooking off, and you can see the definite color difference. It is now seasoned. It stopped smoking. I have my bird ready to go. If you want to see the recipe, I will link a link down in the description of how I prepared this. But for this video, we're just looking at cooking this bird. So about an hour into the cook, I put an umbrella out. It looked like it could have rained. I just was worried, plus anything flies above. The umbrella actually does not feel the heat. The heat only stays down to about here, so it's really good that way. But look at this. 2 hours in, we're looking crispy. I've got a total cook time just about 3 hours. So the last 30 minutes, I'm actually going to put the wire mesh cover over top to get it extra crispy. But isn't that looking delicious? Smells delicious. It even sounds delicious. I just checked the temperature. We're almost to 160. So I put the lid on a little sooner than I wanted to. Typically I would have done it at the 2.5 hour mark, but we're about 2 hours, 10 minutes. So what this will do is for the next 10, 15 minutes, this will get really, really crispy. And I will be checking the temperature of this just to make sure it doesn't overcook. Dun, 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 dun. Look at that thing. It is looking extra delicious. And it's crispy all the way around. I love it. Let's take it inside. So we are officially done with our cook. You can see what kind of a mess we made. Now remember, they call that just seasoning. If you wanted to, there is the tray for the juices. That's going to make some really good gravy. Make sure you use the inserted pan. The extra insert that it doesn't come with it. You got to buy that extra. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn this off, let it cool down. I am going to re-season it. They recommend every time you use it, rub it down with oil after you're done to help re-season it, just like you would a cast iron pan. So I am going to do that. I won't film it, but just so you know. Now that we have the turkey back inside, we can get out some of these herbs that we left in there. So that can be cleaned out. You can use your fingers, use some tongs. It is kind of hot. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put on some oven mitts, or at least an oven mitt, and get Take turkey, shake it out. Of course I got stuck. There it goes. And in the end, there is your bird. Boy, didn't that turn out good? Didn't it look delicious? In this video, we've been looking at Charbroil's The Big Easy, an oilless turkey fryer. And I have been researching this, and you can use it for other things besides turkey. That just happens to be what I chose to do. Now, I referenced it earlier. If you want to see my preparation of this turkey, I will post a link down in the description for you to check that out. I purchased this for around $150 on Amazon, and I also purchased the additional accessory kit, and that's within that $150 margin. I'll leave a link down in the description if you're interested. This is Jeff with Jeff Reviews for You. As always, thanks for stopping by, and I hope you have a great day. We've let the turkey rest for about 20 minutes. I do want to take this plug out. This is like the thermometer plug that it comes with. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a piece here just to see what it looks like. I don't know if you can hear that crunch. And there's the turkey. It looks delicious. Or you know what? It tastes delicious too. I really do appreciate that you stayed around for my entire review looking at Charbroil's The Big Easy, the oilless turkey fryer. In this video, at the very end, you might have noticed I use a sweet knife to cut my turkey. It's actually Missin's chef's blade. Not that long ago, I actually did a review of that knife. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to link that right up here. And if you click on this link, by the magic of the internet, I'm going to join you at this review. So go ahead, click it. It's safe, I promise.